just to recommend or to give any kind of advice to him. A very simple example that I was trying to give you last time with that, such as if some of students or one of your friends may have a common cold and frequently coughing in the classroom. So what do you advise him? Oh, you should see a doctor. You ought to see a doctor. And you have to see a doctor. They are all the same with no meaning of change. They are all using in the same context. When it comes to, in the case of other forms of modal verbs, like to give obligation, must, have to, and also need to. Must is especially we use in our day-to-day life, especially, if you want to do something, must. For instance, you must do your homework. You have to do your homework. You need to do your homework in order to answer any questions that you are going to discuss in the classroom. Therefore, this and some other modals do have a lot of function in our day-to-day life. I'm sure that you are practicing and you are exchanging at the same time. You are ready to use all these modals in your language classroom, as well as you are interacting with your friends and parents too. Thank you. When it comes to our lesson topic, that is Unit 3, the part of traffic rules and regulations. That is a part of Unit 3. The lesson topic that is letter writing. Letter writing. Letter writing. Letter writing. Have you ever written any kind of letter to your friends? That's interesting. Yeah. So, letter writing. Before I proceed this letter writing, let me tell you kinds of letter. We are going to see two kinds of letter writing. The first one is formal letter. Formal letter. Formal letter. The other one is informal letter. Informal letter. Let's see. Formal letter is a kind of letter that is more of what we call it, that is business letter. Business letter. You are writing for a specific purpose to the company, to any organization, in order to just exchange different kinds of ideas. So formal letter is a very important one. But whereas today we are talking about informal letter. In other words, it's what we call it friendly letter or friendly letter. Friendly letter or friend's letter. This is the issue that you have to bear in mind. So both formal letter and informal letter do have different kinds of what? Practice. Yeah. So in the case of formal letter, it has its own formats or layout, the way how we are writing formal letter. So in the case of informal letter or friendly letter, we do have different approaches, but we don't mean that. Informal letter or friendly letter does not have any form or format. It has what looks like. Let's go and see what are very important formal and informal letters that are consisted of while you are writing to any just purposes, for any purposes. Formal letter, just as I told you, we don't want to give more emphasis on it. That's why, because you are really seeing this, and then when it comes to the right spot of writing to the company, or organization, or any government, you are welcome to keep the right steps or format of the formal letter. Let me show you. So what are the informal letter? Informal letter is a kind of letter you are writing to your friend, maybe best friend, okay, a classmate, okay, to anyone else that is familiar to you. It's maybe your cousin, relatives, or niece, or any part of the individual. Whereas there is what? A formal type of procedure while you are writing the friendly letter or formal letter. Let me show you what are the steps, what looks like. Definitely, yeah. First, you have to write vendors. Vendors address, very important. Sender's address must be written in the form of what? Informal letter, definitely. The same is true in the case of formal letter, definitely. But its approach that's different. So when it comes to the friendly letter, sender's address means It's a name of what? The name of a person or a name of your friend that you are writing to. Must be written in the case of this sender's address. It's not only that. You need to have what? Name is very important here, just to show you. Okay, post number or PO box. Yeah, PO box is here now, very important. Or if you are welcome, possible to write the Kabale or sub-city or the town or the city. You are available also possible here now. So in such a case, all these are available in the part of what? Sender's address. The other one that is date. That is very important. Date, yeah. When you write a letter to your friend is, yeah. Therefore, in the case of the date can be written in different address too, right? So you are welcome to write the 4th of February, yeah, 2025. This is one of writing a date in such a way. If you like, you are welcome to write in such a way too. February 4th, 2025. These are the two possible ways of writing what? The date. So this kind of writing or written date is possible in both cases, either informal letter or an informal letter. It's must. And then what comes next? The next one that is greeting. Yeah, greeting. Greeting is very important. In what way you greet your friend is in different ways. We can greet or we are welcome to greet our friends in different ways. Still now we are talking about friendly letter. Don't forget that. That is personal letter. So in the case of greeting is you are welcome to greet your friends such a way. Hi, Ariam. Possible. This is one way of just what makes it informal. That is a word that is hi. It's okay. Hi, I am. Or if you like, it's also possible. WhatsApp. WhatsApp, I am. It's all right. Till now, we are talking about the informal one. WhatsApp, I am. Or if you like, you are welcome to write, Dear I am. Possible. Yo, I am. This is also possible. Another way of what? Greeting your friends. But informal letter, or in other words, that is a business letter, this kind of greeting is not allowed. That's why, because you are writing a formal letter and you are writing procedural letter that has to be kept everything in a formal way. So in all of this, let's go and continue. Not only greeting, and after it, what comes next? Yeah, opening is okay. Opening paragraph. Opening paragraph. What do you mean by that? Opening paragraph means paragraph. Now, opening paragraph is one part of the personal letter or friend letter. So when it comes in the case of opening paragraph, you are going to write your paragraph in different ways. Let me give you some sample example for this. For instance, yeah, I feel so happy about the letter you sent me last week. And then you blah, blah, blah. I feel so good. I'm grateful about this letter. This kind of phrases or sentences or paragraphs, especially it's better to say that paragraphs, are important while you are writing what? The personal or friendly letter, right? It's not only that. In the case of the formal letter, you don't use such kind of sentences or paragraphs are not just possible. It's all right? That's why, because you have to be formal. So I feel so happy about the letter you sent me last week. So what makes it that's informal? It is happy, you know? I'm so glad. Yeah, I received your letter. That impressed me a lot, you see? So such kind of paragraphs are very important to open your letter. At the same time, you are able to just read interestingly what's written about any issues from your friends. Therefore, so you have to keep all these things. What comes next? The next one that is body. Yeah, body is very important. body is, any kind of idea that you want to exchange to your friends. What happened to your at your school? What happened to your village? No, you want to talk about any of the issues, right? The issues might be about the car accident, what happened in the previous time. Yeah? So you want to inform to your friends, you have to take care of, just while you are crossing the busy streets, you should take care of yourself to inform on the body. It's not only that, if you want to talk about the exams, how it was going on in your school, and how well the students did their exam while they are doing this. So all these important issues that you want to transmit to your friend should be considered while you are writing in the body part. So the body part is very important part of the letters that you have to bear in mind, right? So any kind of words, maybe Spartus events, okay? Spartus events is, yeah, if you want just Parents' Day or Parents' Day, Parents' Day, it's okay. Or if you like, you're welcome to write any kind of what event is, yeah, exam time, yeah, exam time. If you are welcome to write about the vacation you spent, it's okay, about your vacation, All these things should be considered, right? So based on your message that you want to transmit to your friends. So body part is a very important part of the letter. So what comes next then? The next one is, let's see, after body, you see, clothing. You remember that? Well, we already said that opening paragraph. Clothing paragraph, that is very important. Yeah, paragraph. It's very important. Closing paragraph is very important part of the personal letter. So closing paragraph, as you have seen so far in the opening paragraph, just you have to have your way of what paragraph in order to just complete your letter. So your letter has to be described in different ways. Yeah, that's things you are expecting your friend's letter next. Yes, okay? Yeah, so while you are closing your paragraph, you see, I will see you again in your, second letter of a new information. Etc. This kind of paragraphs are just important while you are clothing or while you are completing your personal letter. Yeah, just you have to use different kinds of expressions. Yeah, so as to expect something new from your friends. And then after clothing paragraph, what it is. Yeah, the next one that is clothing. Clothing is another. Don't forget that. Clothing paragraph is another approach. Clothing is another one. So what do you mean by that clothing? Clothing means that the way of expression that we have used in the case of greetings. Yeah. So you have to use such kind of just clothing phrases like see you. It's okay? Yeah. See you. Okay? I'm in touch. Next letter. You see, these are the closing parts. With love, best friend, the way how you are clothing, these are common phrases. You see, so as to finish or complete your clothing. Finally, that is the signature is one part of signature. Signature is one part of the letter that you need to have. Write something here now. What do you write here now? Yeah, you remember that? Yeah. In the first part of writing your personal letter, the first part is the sender's addresses. So it includes your name. The same is true here. Now you have to write the signature and the sign of your name at the same time, any kind of sign that you will be familiar about the letter that you have stated. Thank you so much. So this is very important part of the letter, how you are writing personal letter to your friends or to anyone else. Another thing, just you have to bear in mind about this issue is that you have to identify, so right? Identifying your friend is, you see, your friend is interest. Yeah, that's why, because it's obvious that you don't have a lot of friends. Yeah, maybe 4 or 5. Some are good at watching soccer or football. Others are good at reading what fictions. And some others are also good at watching what different kinds of movies. And some others would like to talk about the way how they were spending their time with their friends in different ways. So you have to identify, while you are writing your letter, you should consider the interest of your friends. What kind of, interest do they have? You should consider. That's why, because in the next time, they are eager to read your letter beautifully. It's not only that, but also, right, you do have a lot of words that helps you just selecting your friend's interest. You have to have a chance to learn a lot of vocabularies. For instance, if one of your friends wants to watch movies, okay? Watch movie, that's all right. Watching movie is, his passion, Movies is, playing games is playing a game is also another interest or passion of your friend. And the other one is reading what? Reading storybooks, for instance, right? Storybooks. And others visiting historical places. Historical places. So assume that these friends do have different kinds of interests. So what do you do here now? While you are writing a letter to these friends, you have to consider the interests of all students. What kind of vocabulary do I need so as to satisfy my interest, so as to satisfy their interest and my interest too? Yeah, to express my way of just describing a letter to my best friend watching a movie. I may have, it's okay, want to see some of the movies that inspired him, and then I will narrate to him what it looks like. Oh, if you watch this film, it's so interesting. You see now, he's eager. That's why he always ambitious or keen on to read your coming letter. So, the same is true, it's okay? Playing a game. Or maybe your friend, one of your friends wants to see different kinds of games, the games. You are going to narrate about that game, how you are playing, how you are performing that game, the way, the rules that you have to keep in order to what? That game they are practicing. Therefore, this student also, this friend or your friend also expecting your letter or your personal letter based on the game. That's why he's eager to see a new kind of games that's going on. That's why they are eager. Another is also good at reading, and then reading storybooks. Oh, you will come and read some storybooks that inspired him or her. And what do you do? Of course, you go and read some interesting books. Storybooks, there is maybe animals book, right? It's maybe fable, or it's maybe any kind of story. Therefore, if you are writing or just explaining or telling something about the book that you have written in that storybook that inspired you to listen to what's going on there. So that he's always eager to expect you later. Therefore, in the case of personal letter, see, you have to identify your friend's interest is very important. The other one that is visiting historical places. Yeah, there are a lot of historical places here in Addis. Therefore, what it is? So some of our students in their free time, it's maybe in their weekend time, or if there is a free time, they would like to visit some of the known or historical places here in Addis. Therefore, what do they do? So they are narrating something. You have to do the same thing in order to write any kind of issues about that place. Assume that you are eager to visit one of the historical places, such as, for instance, Addis Ababa Museum. It's all right. At this museum, you go and see some of historical phenomena there, right? And then you narrate about it. So your friend is so eager to read your letter. So you have to identify your friend's interest. And the other one that is, don't forget that, it's okay, all friends are, while you are closing the letter, the same issue, the same thing. It doesn't matter, it's all right? Watching movie, playing game, that is their interest. Whereas, while you are closing your introductory phrases or paragraph, you should consider also, this is maybe the common, it's maybe common for all. There's no problem at all. No problem at all. So let's go and practice how to write a letter. And then I'm going to write a letter, one sample letter to you. And before that, I would like to remind you some pointers that you have to bear in mind that. So while you are writing now, you are going to produce or form one personal letter to your friends. Yeah? And then, as I have already stated here now, don't forget these issues. The first one, that is sender's address, right? Yeah. Sender's address should be considered here now. Sender's address, what do you do? Your name must be written here now. Tesfaye Tamiro. Yeah. And date, the 4th of February 2025. Hi, Tesfaye. Maybe you both have the same name. Don't forget this one. It's all right? Yeah. We don't mean that Tesfaye Tamiro is another person. Tesfaye Alamu is another person. Therefore, you have both the same name. Doesn't matter, right? Don't mean that just writing the same name. Okay? Hi, Tesfaye, right? Hello, Tesfaye Alamu. Simply without writing his father's name, you are welcome to write all these things. And then what comes next? And the next one, that is, you see, date and hi, and then the opening. I received your letter last week. I really enjoyed it. The experience that I got from your friends. This is appreciation. Appreciation. And then what comes next, that is the body part. And then your objective might be that is a different one. So I'm sure that you are welcome to finish all these activities. So to revise what we have seen so far about letter writing. Letter writing is a kind of letter that you usually use or write to your best friends or maybe one of your classmates. While you are writing personal letter or friendly letter, don't forget that to keep all the steps that I have stated earlier. So each part of the parts to have their own function. And then don't forget the places must. Yeah. Don't write first the greeting part and then take the signature at the middle part, in the body part. No. And then to remind you again some of the steps that has to be kept. So as to write a friendly letter or a personal letter to your friend. Let me remind you again. This is okay, sender's letter, that is date, and then greeting, and clothing paragraph, and then next, that is body, and then finally, then clothing paragraph, opening paragraph is after greeting, don't forget that, and then body, and then clothing paragraph. Finally, that is close, then signature. Keeping all these steps about the informal letter, try to write to your friends. That's all we have for today. Till we meet next time, see you next time. See you, bye.
हेलो डियर स्टूडेंट, फॉर्मल लेटर हो या फिर इनफॉर्मल लेटर हो, किस फॉर्मेट में आपको लिखना चाहिए ये आज हम इस वीडियो में जानने वाले हैं। अगर आपको भी जानकारी नहीं है तो वीडियो को पूरा जरूर देखें क्योंकि सही फॉर्मेट आपको बताने वाले हैं। तो यहाँ पर जब